Okay. Okay, we're back. Ouch. Let's continue with this environment. I'm just gonna play some music. Okay, so yesterday we were working on landmarks to kind of like guide the player a little bit. Okay, awesome. Let's see. What else can we add today? Awesome. So this is like a kind of like some destroyed city, like after a mech war, where these like biomechanical creatures kind of like took over the place, and they started like building structures around this stuff. So I want to add some landmarks to guide the player a little bit, because now it's everything's a little bit the same. It's very easy to get lost. And the map is a little bit big. So I want to see what can we add. Okay. So here we have this thing which doesn't really make too much sense to have it there. We can use it as some kind of landmark. So we have this mech in the floor right there. We have this skull on this area. I wanna do something in the corners, in each quarter, and in the center. Something different. Here we have this building kind of like laying down. That's also very different from the rest of the environment, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what can we do in the center. Let's delete some of this stuff. Could probably place this around here. Not sure what this is. Like, kinda, it's not gonna be like a missile, because missiles are not that big at all. But could be something else. That looks kind of cool. Again, to differentiate a little bit these areas. Okay, we have something here. Oh, this is attached. Let me lock this up. Okay. Cool, probably get rid of that one. So it's a little bit more visible. Okay, and then in the center we can do something cool here in the center. Something very, very big and noticeable. Could probably add this one. So let's put this one here. That's a cool mech. That's a little bit too crazy. A little bit too big. I like how stylized this is. Super high poly. Can definitely simplify this a little bit more. Let's put some cables into this. We need to make it a little bit longer here, shorter here. Um, that's cool. And I want the cables to be connected here. Maybe we can make it oh, I see how it works. Okay, so we're gonna make this box tiny, and we're gonna, yeah, move this. That's how I wanna do it. That's how it works. Okay. Cables. I want the cables to be thicker. Which might not be here, but the thickness. Adds too much. Okay. The thing is that can we spread them out a little bit? Gravity max. More like hanging cables. That looks way more interesting. They're not, well, we could probably make them thicker, I think so. Hey, how's it going? Trying to make this landmark on this destroyed city to guide the player a little bit, because it's very easy to get lost in here. So I'm trying to add like different things on the edges and in the center, so it's gonna be a little easier to walk around. From the player perspective, I think this might be too thin. I kind of want to make it a little thicker. But not too much. I think that makes more sense. Then it's connected nowhere. We need like some connection to the mech. Could probably add some kind of mesh in there. Something like this. So yeah, let's try to find something here that kind of like reminds me of like a jet fueling system when they recharge fuel in fighter jets while they're flying. Some kind of cylinder. I think that this might do the job. Very strange to have this charging thing here. Makes more sense to have it in the body. Can we actually... Let me try something. Can we actually snap this? Yeah, awesome. Yay. Just like modeling tools. Snap to surface. Perfect. That's a little nicer there. Now we can rotate a little bit. And then we can get this look at target into that spot. Kind of. The angle of the cables is not gonna allow me to get it nicely there. Maybe we can get it somewhere close and just hey, how's it going? We can get it smaller and then connect that somehow. Doesn't really matter that much. This is gonna be very far away from the player anyways. That's kind of funny. It will be nice to simplify this a little bit, but let's make the build first. So I wanna make it super foggy. Doing great. Just working on this destroyed city environment. So the idea is that there was like this mech war in here, and then some of the mechs got deactivated, some of them got destroyed, and then you get this kind of like biomechanical creatures who came here, and they started kind of like taking over the place. And maybe the stories that some of them are trying to like revive these mechs. That's kind of what I have in mind for this area. Might be a little bit too big. Yeah, this mech might be a little bit too big. We need to recalculate some PCG graph in there. Wow, it's barely visible. I kinda like it. Yeah, we can probably simplify it a little bit. Well, that's it's gonna be a little bit too big, so it might be nice to keep the amount of detail it has. It doesn't really change performance that much. There's a lot of stuff I need to do for performance. This is kind of like a test on performance, but let's recalculate. I started using Unreal Engine. I started using Unreal Engine 5.25, 4.25. So it's been a couple of years. But yeah, I don't consider myself very experienced. This is kind of funny. Like, why is the PCG avoiding this mesh? Oh, I think I know what it is. It's the collision. We could probably change that up. The size is a little bit too big. I might make it smaller, to be honest. So let's create a quick collision for this. Then maybe we can simplify it a little bit. Nice. That's nice. Okay, with this simplified collision, we might be able to recalculate this PCG graph. That's a little better. And I'm thinking, this is very heavy on polygons. Should I simplify it a little bit? Let's double check. Yeah, it's a lot. Also, the prop is too big in the environment, so if I simplify it, I might lose a little bit of detail. Let's give it a quick try. Mesh, simplify, and let's just go 50% less triangles and see. I think it might work. Yeah, let's go 50 off. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not the smartest person. I am very creative. I do like um putting stuff together, building Legos. That's why I really like Unreal. That's probably what I got into 3D. I really like um, making cool environments and stuff like that. Yeah, this hand right here is not doing much. It's a bad placement for it. We cannot really appreciate the silhouette of this hand, and it's kind of like just not really working. Also, the design of that hand is a little bit too rounded. It's not so aggressive. We want something more sharp. Hey, how is it going, Cody? So yeah, this is like me trying to figure out how big can I make the environment, how detailed can I make it, and I kind of want to learn optimization. That's kind of like the whole purpose of the project. I was really thinking of what should I do with this project. Like if I just I was thinking of simplifying the whole thing, making something super small, and then I was like, well, I kind of want to make some kind of like exploration game, like big environment and stuff. I appreciate it. That's the goal. Make it playable. Oh my god, I'm talking to my bank. It's so annoying. I transferred some money from one bank to the other, and they're just asking for crazy amount of documents, and it's not even that much money, to be honest. But there's a new law here in Costa Rica, and yeah, very annoying. Okay, let's see. Let's get more cables on the other side. Yeah, I'm playing some playlist from YouTube. This one is a little bit too dramatic. Yeah, funny thing about YouTube, I'm waiting for YouTube to confirm my address so I can like actually get my get monetized on YouTube, but for some reason it's not arriving. The you need to get like this kind of like you need to get a mail to your house, but I'm not able to get it. It's some weird stuff, and you don't get any notifications. They're like, we send the mail, and I mean, yeah, It's funny. Nothing is working when it comes to those things. But it's okay. It's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say. I started 3D in 2014 using Maya, and things are changing a lot. Things are changing very fast. So kind of hard to say. But yeah, just do what you enjoy and enjoy the process. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now. Yeah, it's the problem. The problem is that the bank that is giving me issues right now, it's the only bank in Costa Rica where you can transfer money from PayPal to your bank account directly. So it's super nice for any freelance job because I can get paid through PayPal and just transfer the money directly to my bank account. And no other bank in Costa Rica does that. It's such a hassle to do that through other banks. So I'm kind of like, oh my god. And that's the bank I'm having issues with right now. But I think I'm very close. I'm very close to unlocking the account again. They're just asking for some final documentation, and we should be good to go. When it comes to YouTube, I don't know. The problem is that there's a lot of scams going on. I got this message saying like, oh, your address was not correct. Can you like pay $1 to modify the address? And those are scams. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the YouTube thing. Yeah, if you want to get into game dev, it's just a matter of following tutorials and doing small projects. That's how I recommend starting learning. You can take courses. There's this UEFN. I know it's called let me see how it's called. UFN Games. UFN Games. Let me check. Or UNF, let me check. There you go. Yeah, this channel is super awesome. They have a course. They have a lot of free tutorials, but they also have a paid course. That I took. It's like an action adventure game. And I learned a lot doing that course. I really enjoyed that one. but you can just do the free tutorials. Yeah, probably Godot is it's newer. It's a newer engine, so it's you need to give people some time to do tutorials on it. I tried Unity once for a work for an art test, and it was very tough, to be honest. I couldn't find like a lot of good information. It was very confusing, a lot of different versions of the program, and it was just crazy. I'm making this kind of like broken city, where we have these mechs. So there was like a mech war going on, and these are kind of like what's remaining of it. Then these biomechanical creatures came here and they took over the place. So it's gonna be like a broken city with some kind of like robotic kind of settlements kind of thing. Five to 15. That's kind of like the setting. Some like after some war aftermath. Ooh. Let's see. I want more cables here. Oh, maybe there's not many places to attach it. Okay. So also this scale, I want to copy this scale. Something like this. Yeah, just start with something small. That's my recommendation. Start with something small. It's making tutorials, it's nice, but it's good to build like a small project and just look for whatever information you need to build that project. I think it's making projects is probably the best way of learning, because if you just do a lot of tutorials, you don't really connect the dots. So a good way to connect the dots is to make something yeah, make like a project where you get to kind of like use different systems and see how things work together. Yeah, I think Unreal has a very good community, and it's also free. So it's very nice. Yeah, getting a job in 3D, it's not easy. It's not easy. Um, like something stable, like there's freelance and there's like little gigs that you can do and stuff, but like something stable, it's difficult, to be honest. I I'm thinking more about building something, uh, something like making like indie games or something like that, something that I can sustain myself. Like that's probably, everybody's dream, like work for yourself. I appreciate it. No, it's cool, it's cool. Yeah, this chat is very very chill. Sometimes I do get people. Um, Asking weird questions, but most of the time it's just very chill. Okay, this is kind of cool. Then we can merge those cables and make it look nice. I wanna add some lights to this. Let's add some yellow lights to change it up a little. Just so it's easier to find this from far away. I think maybe one light might do the trick. So yeah, now you're able to see this way easier. The fog is a little bit too crazy. Yeah, if you want to do freelance job, you do need a good portfolio that showcase like a very specific skill. For game dev, it's not necessary. You can just use pre-made models, modify them and stuff. It's always good to know 3D and stuff, but it's not necessary. But for working as a freelancer, there's a lot of competition, and you do need to be very specialized in one field and showcase your work, have a very specific portfolio. And now with AI and stuff, and it's getting a little bit more difficult to get 3D jobs. But yeah, there's always. I mean, you cannot really. AI cannot really do what a 3D artist can do. But it's yeah, the whole thing is changing a little bit. Yeah, that's crazy about Unity. Like, you need to be online for 30 days. if not you. That's crazy. Yeah, that's why people like Godot, because it's like open source, so it's like nobody's gonna take that those tools from you. Unreal is also very nice because like you do need to pay a 5% of your gross revenue after I don't know how much money, but it's a lot. Like you need to make a good amount of money. So if you make a game in Unreal and it makes like a lot of money, you might need to pay Epic Games a percentage. I think it's like 5% or something, which is still very small. Everything below that, it's free. So it's very nice. Like it's a very good deal. I'm not sure if it's like a 1 million or is it like 100,000. Hey Zero, how's it going? So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I I don't expect to make that much money, and if I do, I can always just pay Unreal, so no problem. Hey, this is some kind of like exploration survival horror game I'm making. Yeah, I mean, to be super honest, I mean, like to be super honest, I would I would probably do 3D as a passion project. I mean, I wouldn't treat it as a commercially. Like it's not like if you ask me, like like will you recommend your kids to study 3D? I will say no. Oh yeah, the Forever Winter. I love that game. One of my favorite, and this is definitely super inspired in the Forever Winter. If you're a coder, then none. You'll still need to understand basic linear algebra for transform and light. But even then, not everyone who works in game dev can model. No, you don't need to model anything in game dev. I mean, you can just use models. There's a lot of free models. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Forever Winter is a big influence for me for sure. Just the fact that it's a small team and they're pushing updates so fast. They're selling a such a nice game for $15. It's insane. And the amount of details, the environments, the lore, everything is just so nice. So this is a big inspiration in the Forever Winter, for sure. I wanna make something similar, not so much gameplay wise. This is kind of like more of a kind of wanna make it like an exploration. I wanna have some quests, some NPCs. So kind of like a free roam game where you go and kind of like explore and figure out what happened to this place. I'm using the RPG engine template, which has like you can like get gear and get better stats. You have a skill tree. I don't really want a map, very detailed map, but you have quests and a bunch of crafting and a building system. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not sure if I'm gonna use, but that looks kind of crazy. That's a good landmark. Yeah, I think now is a very good time to to make indie games. I mean, technologies are every day more accessible, and everything's getting a little bit more manageable and easier to do than before. And I think it's a good time for smaller teams to make very cool games, and do something more like different and original, from what AAA is doing. It's funny to say that, because if you ask me like what is unique about this game, I'm like, I cannot really answer that. Oh my god, I just hang up this call. No. Let me just double check what is this. Give me a second, sorry. Oh, damn it. Let me just look up this number. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm waiting for a mail to be delivered for like 4 weeks, and I think this might be the mail. Oh, it's just a... Oh my god. Yep, it's just a fake number. We have a lot of scams, phone scams. And we have this website where you can verify the number. Yeah, it was just a scam. Jesus Christ. Yeah, scams are getting terrible. Hey, how's it going, Ian? Yeah, scams are getting terrible in Costa Rica. Like, we're getting crazy emails, phone calls. It's funny because I'm waiting for this mail to be delivered to my house, and I'm getting emails from the National Mail Service in Costa Rica. I don't know how they know I'm waiting for a mail. It's just messed up. Very messed up. The other day, this lady got arrested because she exposed a bunch of bank accounts from one bank that I'm thankfully not part of. But yeah, it's just very bad. That's very cool. I will check it. No, it's not like somebody stole my account or anything. It's that the information gets leaked. So they have my number, they have my mail, and I'm getting just bunch of scam mails and scam calls all the time. I don't usually answer any of those calls, and I usually don't deal with banks through phone. I just do it in person or directly. Yeah, I'm just in person. But it's very bad because when you're waiting for a physical mail to come and you get those calls, like it's very bad. Yeah, I actually I felt for one of those scams, and they were asking like to pay like $3 or $4, and then they get your information. Thankfully, I did it with a bank account that had like $10, so no problem. But um, yeah, that was bad. Thankfully, I changed that debit card number, so it's no longer available. But yeah, I went to the mail office, and they were like, "Dude, that's a scam. Don't do that. We don't send those mails. We don't send that. Don't give any information to these guys." And I'm like, "Okay, whew, thankfully I did it with a account that had no money in it." Nice, nice. I saw you live streaming, but I couldn't watch. LODs, yeah, LODs are a big topic. If you don't mind, can I ask you what's your profession? I know it's related to game, but I don't know why specific your intro. What's your specific intro? Sorry, this is the first time I cross your live, and this is amazing. I appreciate it. So I'm a 3D generalist. I went to university for 5 years. It took me 5 years to finish that because I was very distracted doing like visuals for concerts and stuff like that. Then at the end of of university, I got a little bit more serious, and I got into Unreal, and I made a little. My final project for university was like this documentation on how to make environments in Unreal. Very simple, like how to make a landscape, how to make a landscape material. Just very simple stuff you can Google in YouTube. Like no, you can see in YouTube. Nothing crazy, but I made it in Spanish, so it was very good for my university because they don't teach Unreal in my university. They teach Maya and ZBrush. So I got some people into Unreal, and that was very cool. Then I worked for a small office making green screen backgrounds, just kit bashing environments. I don't think we have that AI call screening. I know there's an app that you can get that tells you who is calling and if they are in a blacklist. But there's a website that I use in Costa Rica. There's a website where all the scammer numbers get into a blacklist, and you can just Google up the number and it will appear there. This is a dangerous number. Please don't answer this number. So it's kind of nice. So I can easily tell. Usually when you get called from these numbers and you call back to them, they don't answer. So that's another way to know. Yes, I'm developing a game. It's like a sci-fi horror exploration game kind of thing. And talking about LODs, I'm using world partition for this, and I'm basically unloading stuff in the distance. There's two type of LODs, right? There's your typical old school LODs. So you have different meshes that are different levels of detail, but with Nanite you don't really need to use that. And there's H LODs, which is hierarchical LODs. So these are LODs based on hierarchy, based on camera distance, and these work with world partition. And I'm still trying to learn how to work with them, because you need to build your H LODs, and when you build your H LODs, it basically makes a simplified version of your meshes. So when you are very far away and your geometry gets unloaded, you still get to see this very low imposter, kind of like fake lower version of the model. So you don't have this popping on and off when you get very far away from this. The problem is that building these H LODs takes forever. Like you need to leave your computer on all night long, or maybe do it outside the editor with a script. And for big maps, it's just insane. It takes too long. So I haven't been able to test that a lot. That's kind of like why I'm just going with very heavy fog, and I want to see if you can if I can kind of like figure out how to do it that way. There's also something called data layers, which is kind of like Photoshop layers, where you can add information like different assets, and you can load and unload data layers based on trigger boxes. So for example, if you want to go inside a closed building, you open the door and it loads what's inside. When you go out, it unloads what's inside. But that requires a little bit more work to set it up. Nothing too crazy, but that's my basic approach. When it comes to the scattering on the floor, I have a lot of PCG graphs that are these little volumes here. So hopefully when I walk here, it's gonna unload the other ones and just let me have loaded the ones that I have close. You can also change the grid size, so the grid size can be smaller. Hey Shrill, how's it going? Yes, I'm using Ultra Dynamic Sky. Where do you think we should start to create these kind of games or scenes? Just download Unreal. There's a lot of free stuff you can start using. Make sure that you have enough space in your computer, and yeah, and you should be good to go. Also, you will need like an NVIDIA 2000 maybe to do this, because if you have a lower video card, it might be harder to deal with these scenes. I was going to ask which tech stack are you using. You already answered my question. Okay, awesome. Do you enter to different websites? This will not leaked. This will not leaked, I think. But PayPal workers still on my suspicion. Yeah, PayPal is dangerous. I wouldn't have any bank account linked to PayPal. I had a lot of friends having problems with PayPal. Like the way one friend explained this to me, you need to have like a, I call this not a fake email, but you need to have like a frontliner. Like imagine you're playing Pokemon and you have like a frontliner, and that's kind of like your public email, your public number, and your public bank account. And this is the one that you share. And you only transfer from your private bank account to this public one. Also, your email, you need to have one email that nobody has and a public email that you can share to people. So it's like a frontliner email and bank account. That's kind of like how one of my cybersecurity friends explained to me. So if anything happens to the public email, you know you're not gonna get your personal email hacked. Or the same with your bank account. You have this frontliner bank account, which you should probably keep very, very low. You should keep it like, you know, like if you're gonna buy something, you deposit the money there, you buy something, and you keep it at 0 or as low as possible. So if anything happens, you don't lose much. Hey Leo, I'm working on this. I forgot the word. This kind of like broken city environment, and I'm making some landmarks so we can guide the player a little bit. Because it's kind of easy to get lost. I need to apply. Yeah, I'm kind of scared of credit cards, but usually they are more safe. That's why my dad says that credit cards, they actually give you, they take more care of your money. No, I'm not a coder by any chance. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I don't know. This other guy came into the chat the other day, and he's like, "Are you getting paid for this? Are you working for somebody? Like, why are you making this?" and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like I'm like, I like making stuff. So nice. This is a big landmark. Now we know that we're in the center of the level. And I don't want to have a mini map. I want to have coordinate system. So it's going to be X and Y, and that's it. Yes, I'm making a interactable project. It's trying to make a survival exploration, kind of like survival horror game. Not really sure what is it going to be, but I want exploration. I want a big open environment. That's what I want. The main goal of the project is create cool environments and make them as interactable as possible and learn about optimization. Yeah, this is a I'm developing a game. Yeah, the character can shoot. It can do a couple of things. We can roll. Let me see. We can go like this. You can modify the weapons. The inventory system, somebody asked about it. I totally forgot. So we have an inventory system. We can pick up items. We have thirst, hunger. We have modifiable weapons where we can have attachments to different skins for the weapons. We have a skill tree with very basic abilities. A map that I don't want to use. I want to kind of have like an approximation of where things are, but I don't want to like really have a very specific map. So we have quest system, dialogue system, crafting, very basic crafting, and building system, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna use some of those mechanics. Another thing, do not use the same pic or image on your accounts. That's probably I need to do that. That's something I don't do. I do use the same pic. Game dev is super stressful for sure. Like it is super stressful. Like it's you need to learn how to let it go. When you get it stuck in something, when you get stuck, you need to learn how to step back from things. You need to be like, okay, I'm not a coder. I know very little blueprints. I don't know how to do this. Let's just step back. Let's ask for help, and let's see if somebody can help me out with this. And then you can find a solution. Usually, the cool thing about Unreal Engine is that there are like 1,000 ways to do the same thing, which most of them are not the most optimized or correct way to do it, but you can do so much. You can achieve the same result in so many ways. Obviously, there's better ways to do things, more like efficient and optimized ways to do things, but you can achieve the same visual effect in many different ways. So it's kind of funny, because I was trying to make these enemies like come out of the ground and attack me, and I was not able to figure that out. So I just made this blueprint where I had two blueprints. I have this enemy coming out in one blueprint, and then we have the actual AI enemy out, which is not the way to do this, but it kind of works because I'm using two different skeletons, and I'm able to use the original animations from the character that I got, and then I'm using the retargeter AI enemy. So it was kind of nice. Like I kind of kind of got a nice result. Still, there's a couple of issues with it, but that's some progress. Damn, I cannot find the other things. We need more vertical landmarks. Oof, I know what I'm going to use for vertical landmarks. I got some very cool props that we could use. Game dev is mostly driven by passion. If you're passionate, you will find a way. Just know that everything has a solution, so don't give up. Yeah, yeah, you also need to have this kind of like very positive mentality. Um, and you also need to celebrate your wins. You need to be very proud of like the things that you have achieved. For example, this scattering on the ground. Um, I'm like, yes, I'm getting closer to the level of detail I want for this. Still, performance is terrible, like, but I'm getting closer to the level of detail, and bunch of little things, and that I was like, wow, I never thought I was going to get into learning behavior trees or learning a world partition and stuff like that, and I'm starting to get my feet wet into those topics that are very scary, to be honest. It's like, oh, that's very complicated, but it's kind of cool. um, yeah, I got lost. I cannot find any landmark. Trying to find the skull and see if I can spawn some enemies, because we have some volumes where the enemies come from. Yeah, we do need more cover. I was trying to use these things to cover, but I do want more verticality. You are totally right. I like maps with verticality, stuff that is overhead. For example, like stuff like this where you can like hide. There's a drone enemy that I have, and I want to implement it here. Now that I learn a little bit more about interfaces and a little bit more about this project, I think I should be able to integrate the drone. Yeah, integration, that's something you need to be very careful with. When you are integrating multiple systems together from different templates, things can get very messy very fast. That's a motivation killer right there. What do you think about AI on the gaming industry? AI is a complicated topic, to be honest. I think that there are very cool ways of using AI. And I think that if you combine AI with like human thought, and if you combine AI with your own skills, I think you can do something cool with it. I think we should probably embrace AI. It has a very bad rep because, like all these melted AI generated images and all this stuff, people are just throwing all that garbage out. But for example, if you generate a AI song and you give that to a music producer, okay, my camera is a little bit too zoomed in, that's kind of funny, and you give that to a music producer who like masters this music and like makes it better, I think that's a cool way to deal with it. Okay, there you go. Also, if you give an AI image to an illustrator, you can get very good results. If you combine those two things in a very smart way, if you combine a AI 3D with a 3D sculptor, you can get very good results. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I recommend. Okay, we got stuck. Oops. Um. Oops. I've been having some issues with my computer. My CPU is getting a little bit overheated. I hope. Hope I won't have any issues today. What's the name of the game? Sci Wars. That's kind of like the first thing that came to mind. It's like Sci Fi, so SCI Wars, kind of like Star Wars but Sci Wars. Kind of like ridiculous name, but I thought it was kind of simple. Yeah, I got registered on Steam. I do wanna. Oh, nice! We got some enemies. So we have like different scopes and stuff like that. Oh crap! He's very close. So yeah, these bugs, they come out of the ground, but I want to make them a little bit like more kind of like biomechanical. I have a Ryzen 5000. I need to send you the specs. I don't really remember. The specs on this one. No, this is a personal project. Yeah, that sniper scope is a little bit too close. Also, I need to think what to do with the when I die. I want to see what we're gonna do with the spawning. You see, like now they're coming out of the soil. It's not perfect, but we're getting somewhere. A couple of months. I've been working on this project for a couple of months. Yeah, these mech pieces here, I'm not really sure about those, to be honest. You cannot really tell. That you cannot really see the hand. That hand right there is not really, yeah, we cannot really appreciate it. I'm gonna change that up. This is too noisy. Like when it comes to design, we don't want to make areas too noisy. And here we have too much going on at the same time. Nice. Yeah, the good thing about the processors is that I mean the CPUs is that when they get very hot, they turn off. So it's very hard to burn a CPU. Bullet traces. Huh. Like some VFX, or what do you mean? For example, this hand right here, I think we should probably place it somewhere else. We have too much stuff going on here. We should probably pose this hand in a better way. It could be just laying on the ground. Oh yeah, definitely some physical materials for where the bullet hits. We do have some of that in the project. I just need to set up the collision channel properly. So we do need some landmarks. Yeah, this hand, it will be very cool to pose it and have it like grabbing from one of the roofs. That doesn't look very natural, to be honest. We need to actually probably put it like this. That makes way more sense. Yeah, I think that's very cool. Yeah, another thing I want to do is getting some cool NPCs and some cool quests. Okay, so we got this in the center, that there, but still, okay, we need some vertical stuff so we don't get lost in the map. I know what to do here. Yeah, that would be amazing. I like the idea of having it like standing up. Yeah, rigging the hand, that's definitely possible. Just gonna take a little bit of time. Let's see if I can find these vertical things that I got here. Yeah, these ones are very cool. Let's see if we can get the blueprint version, which has some cool stuff. It's a skeletal match. Okay. Okay, let me see where is that? Is it? Oh, it's a level instance. Oh no. Let me see. I don't really want to use too many level instances. to be honest. It's I had some issues with level instances before. But we could probably add very huge stuff like this, so it's easy to recognize where the Twitch messages. Is it? Yeah, I think I'm looking at the Twitch. Shrill Duck is looking on Twitch. Or if part of a quest is holding some quest item and the player needs to find a way to open it. That's kind of cool. That'll be very cool. Let me see where we can place those things. Yeah, if we place the same thing twice, it's not gonna work too well to be a landmark. We probably might need to push some enemies, some buildings down. That's cool. You should be able to do a spawner blueprint and explain how they spawn in it. Do you mean the enemies? Or use it some of the buildings to show what might be coming? Yeah, that's a big landmark. Yeah, we have too many buildings that are the same and they're all vertical, so we might probably put some of them, we make them tilted, and I think that might be very cool. I like this prop a lot. But yeah, another thing I want to play with is the fog. I want to make the weather change. It will be super cool to look to see how this looks at night. This is too thick. Yeah, it's not really working with this. That might be better. Yeah. Now we can see. Yeah, we have that blueprint where if the character walks through, you can spawn different things. I need to research a little bit about these spawners and see exactly what I'm going to do with that, because I do wanna have some enemies kind of like roaming but far away, so we can like snipe them. But that's the thing. Also spawn items, because I mean placing all items, that's a cool, that's very cool. The hand just laying in there, that's a way better place. These sparks, they're just static. We need to I have some other sparks in the other project. Yeah, we do have night vision. That's something I want to take advantage of. We also have gas masks and poison grenades, so we can take advantage of like a kind of like I want to have like acid rain, so you need to like hide from it. If you don't want to change the fog globally, you can duplicate the weather data asset and change the fog value in that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I need to learn the ultra dynamic sky. There's a lot we can do with that. Also, I want to make it nighttime, but the skybox I'm using, I need to figure out how to make the skybox kind of like the brightness of the skybox turn off with the sun intensity. Or maybe just add like an opacity field filter or something, so when it goes dark we actually get to see yeah, maybe just the emissive, because I do like the clouds. I wanna figure that out. Yeah, I love super huge stuff like this, just very, very cool. And also I need more variation on the rubble on the ground, and make that variation in different areas, so you know like kind of like where you at, where you're standing, because it's very, very easy to get lost. It will be very nice to that building. I'm probably not gonna use that one. It looks like some paper. It's funny. So it will be cool to get lost for like 1 or 2 blocks, and then you get to see a big landmark, and it's like, okay, we have this tilted building, and then we can go and okay, now we have another landmark. That's cool. That's what I want. Like you kind of like recognize a little bit the environment. That's cool. I like this one. Ships in Riddick. I need to look that one. Yeah, they added a night light cycle. That's very cool. I haven't used it yet, but it's cool that they made their own thing. So if that's the center, there's the bridge. Okay, there's another landmark. Okay, now landmarks are starting to work. Here's the building that is tilted. I mean, totally like flat on the ground. The locomotion, you mean, on the character? This is based on Gasp, the animation template for Unreal Engine. We also have mantle and vaulting and a bunch of cool stuff. We don't have too many surfaces right now where we can actually use that, but yeah, the locomotion, it's so nice in the RPG engine. Super happy with that one. I'm wondering, there was an area where I was able to go in, because I also want to have like very dark areas like this. This is a lot of buildings just intersecting themselves, so it doesn't really make too much sense, but it will be super nice to have areas where you can like go inside and it's just very dark. Yeah, the capsule component of this character is a little bit big. I'm not sure why it's that big, but it's bigger than the default character in Unreal, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to go through. Also, it would be awesome to add a jetpack that is based on fuel, because we have a car that uses fuel, so it would be super awesome to have a jetpack. But you cannot use it too much because you require fuel to use it. Okay, I think I'm getting around a little bit better now. With those landmarks, it's a little easier. Okay, we have the bridge. Okay, there's the center. That's very cool. And I know that in this area we should have this skull. It's kind of crazy to have all of this stuff. Here we have a little issue because we moved an asset, yeah. So let me fix that thing. Rebar, PCG, Control H. Yeah, this rebar we need to clean up and regenerate, and also this one. Clean up and regenerate. Nice. Oh, the collisions of this thing are not okay. Okay, so that's another thing. It's funny because if I load all of these PCG graphs in editor, the performance is terrible, but if I load them in playtime, they're very far away. That's cool, yeah. Definitely Halo movement is nice. I forgot what I was going to say. So yeah, let's change this collision. Just make a convex decomposition to have some approximation. I've been getting good results with this. Yeah, just kind of like basic, very basic collision. We don't really need to walk in there. Then we can clean up this PCG and boop, repopulate. And that's super nice. So we have this other kind of landmark here, which is kind of like in the corner, and then we have this other tilted building. We get to see this one, and somewhere here is the skull. The problem with this is that it's very hidden between buildings. We might need to make this building a little smaller. I think it makes way more sense. So we have a little more, it's gonna be a little easier to see from far away. Let's hide that BCG and the weather. Yeah, this building here, I think it blocks a little bit too much of the view. We might change it. For something smaller. There's a lot of cleanup I need to do here, because I've been changing a little bit of the pivot point, so there's a lot of stuff that's underground and we are not really using. Yeah, we do have different enemies. We have close combat, we have ranged. I have another enemy that I'm working on, which is it's ranged. If you get close, it hits you like close combat, and it has a flamethrower. It's such a mix of things. Okay, this one. Let's probably add that thing somewhere here. Yeah, this definitely has been an exercise of like how much detail should I add. Before it becomes too much. Something like this. So I was thinking like maybe all of this could be one data layer. All this city could be a data layer, and then we could have it closed by mountains, and then you go through a tunnel or some kind of like gate, and then you load it. So I'm trying to see how can we make this load and unload, so it's not visible from very far away. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oof, it's getting a little hot. It's 1 p.m. here. It's I think I should probably go go have some food and turn the computer off for a little bit. So let's add a couple of mountains here. Maybe we can make them smaller, to be honest. I'm still learning these arid landscapes. So we want the desert, maybe small mountain. Let's just put, yeah, those are kind of nice. So I want to close up a little bit here, and then maybe we can have some kind of like entrance to this. This is nice because it takes a lot of space out from the big landscape, so it gives like the illusion of, like, World of Warcraft does this a lot. Like, you see the world and it's super big, but it's actually just, there's a lot of like dead space, kind of like with mountains and stuff like that. So it's like there, but it's not playable space. It's just a vista far away from the player. It gives the illusion of like of scale, but it's just not really really playable. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I can't wait to get into foliage and stuff like that. I want to make some tests and see if I can like save this map with another name, so we can transfer this to, because I'm using the RPG engine, which it updates a lot. Like, we're getting a lot of updates, so I'm still figuring out what's the best workflow to send the map to a new version of the template without losing too much of what I've done. Because there's the, yeah, Unreal Engine is very, very nice. Because we're using this thing called the BP main component, and it stores a lot of information, like enemy information, player information, and there's a lot of changes that I've done to it. So if we override that thing, I kind of like need to do it all over again. It takes me a couple of hours. It's not like too much big of a deal, but if I can learn a way on how to transfer the map, the landscape, and the foliage without doing that again, that will be amazing. And I think I know how to do it. I just need to make sure that it has a different name, because I'm kind of like working on the template level, just because it has the world partition settings set up and everything. But yeah, if I make a copy of this map, give it another name, we should be probably able to just transfer this to another project without losing the landscape work and the foliage work, because I do want to get some cool foliage and stuff. Yeah, this is your typical, oh crap, your typical kind of like World of Warcraft approach. Hey, how's it going? I'm working on a grid-based battle system right now. Grid-based battle system. That's very cool. I'm an indie dev using Godot. I doubt if my PC can handle Unreal Engine. I mean, you can make very should be saved, and you should save play multiple parts on the map, and you can save play multiple parts. Yeah, the thing with the RPG engine is that as long as I understand um, the player progress cannot be moved from one level to the other, unfortunately. I think that's something that the developer is going to implement in the future, but as long as I understand, it's like you need to kind of like work with one level only if you want to have your items and level and all the progression stored. South Park, the fractured butthole uses it. Have you? Do you have version control set up? No, I haven't. I don't have version control, which is kind of funny. I've used Perforce, and I tried to set up GitHub with a friend the other day, but it is just giving me some issues, and I'm just kind of like basically going old school and making a hard copy of the project. Which is not the nicest thing to do, but yeah, that's how I'm trying to back up the thing. Oh, we changed this thing. Okay, I see. Now that's why we spawned underground. So for example, here we could have a cool kind of like tunnel or gate or something there. So once you go through there, you load the entire city, and once you go out, you unload it. Kind of like having these kind of like loading areas. That's kind of like the approach I want to take. Using data layers. The other solution is using HLOTs and building like a lower poly version of this, so you can see it far away, and when you get close it loads the actual thing. That's kind of like the proper way of doing this, but that's something I need to learn how to do. Just HLOTs they take too long to build, and I haven't experimented too much with that. Yeah. Whenever I update the project, there's changes that have been made to the BP main component. So I basically kind of like lose a lot of configuration that I've done to it. I can always refer back to my past project and see what I changed and like just do it again. But that's the thing. Yeah. It does take a little bit of time to update the project. And there's like big changes coming soon to like the data layers and the whole structure of the game. The developer is like updating the template, so it's gonna be more performant and it's gonna run better. So I'm just gonna wait for more updates to come and just keep on building stuff that I know I can carry on to the other level. So yeah, this technique might work. Kind of like surround the different areas in with mountains and just have some kind of like loading screen. This is gonna take probably some time to load using data layers, so I might need to think about some cool kind of like a tunnel or some kind of thing that maybe I could just use loading screens with some cool images until you get this loaded, and then you can just go in there. Yeah, I think that could be one solution. We actually got a crossbow weapon on the last update, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure about crossbows, but I want to have like a gun that you can charge, like a laser gun that you can charge and release. That will be very cool. I could probably base that on the crossbow. So yeah, yeah, I think yeah, I think I should probably take a break because I'm overheating a little bit. I'm on a different room, and it gets a little hot, but the temperature should be going down pretty soon. So I'm gonna probably take some lunch, have some lunch, and continue a little bit later. Also, I wanna learn more about instances. The big problem with saving a huge map and use it in another project is that in another project it likes to do weird things, so it's best to save multiple parts of the map. Multiple parts. Yeah, the way I usually do it. The way I usually do it is like my biggest issue is just the landscape mesh itself and the foliage. If I'm able to move that, I'll be good, because then I can just basically move each individual data layer by itself, or make kind of like groups of selections of data layers and just move them with copy paste. So as long as you migrate all the assets that you are using, you can just simply have two projects opened and copy the props, I mean these assets, Control C, Control V, and they will fall exactly where they're supposed to, because the project recognizes the reference, they know what object this is, and that's how I've been able to move like very big constructions like this. Yeah, right. The spine, the upper spine, kind of like waves a little bit. That's something I need to tell the developer. I haven't said anything about it, but it's very wavy. That has to do with the animation layer when it's holding the gun. The arms are steady, but the spine moves, so we need to make those bones, those spine bones, keep steady. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Yeah, that's something I want to figure out, because it happens with the gun. Without the gun, it looks nice, but when you hold the gun, the spine moves, but the arms are steady, and it just really looks weird. It looks like gelatin or something. It should not be moving like that. Pretty sure he knows how to fix it. because without the weapon it looks nice, it follows the body, but with the weapon out the arms are steady, but you're still getting the movement on the spine. So we need to lock down those spine bones so it doesn't move around, because that looks like that looks very strange. I'm totally agree. The other thing with these dunes is that I wanna see how can I blend them in a little nicer into the environment. Look new reanimal gameplay. 30 minutes gameplay. How do you make this type of environment? I'm not sure. Is that a reference? Yeah, we need those spine bones to follow the arms, and not the rest of the body. We need to kind of like change that up. I don't really want to mess up with the animation blueprint because it's very, very complex. So I'm just gonna ask the developer. He's super helpful, so that's kind of nice to when you're working with a template. It's very cool to be able to just ask for things like that. And he has been fixing like I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, well, what I mean with the blending on the animation is that we have some spine bones that are not following the movement of the arms. That's why it looks like two different animations together. But if we make the spine bones follow the arms, it's gonna feel way more natural. Not sure if I'm explaining that right, but I believe that's the thing we need to change. The question here is how can we blend this nicely so we don't have this cut right here. Yeah, I'm not sure how to deal with this thing. Yeah, this is based on Gasp. It's based on the Gasp animation template. Okay, let's get a couple more of them around here to blend in there. And it's gonna be a little nicer. Yeah, this I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, there's an option to have like a priority on these layers, so we need to change the priority of the mountains, so this layer does not affect the mountains. I think that's how we get rid of that that cut in there. there's a lot of options for these errand landscapes. That's cool. Now we have this kind of like dune this kind of like uneven terrain. Just need to try to fix it here. Oh, that's the back. That's a cool mech. So yeah, I'm gonna go take a break. Let the computer breathe a little bit. That's too much. Let's go with 10. We got some progress. Let's see. And I do need to send some emails. Oh, okay, should probably do that before I forget. Wow. Oh, sometimes when you play from a PCG graph, it kind of sends you to the center of the level. I think that's what's happening here. Should probably take some screenshots and change the thumbnail of the video. It's been the same for a while. It's taking a while to load, but it's funny because when you close the project and open it back up, it's way faster. I do wanna add more different like debris and concrete pieces to the floor, so it's not so repetitive. That looks kind of cool. Yeah, can't wait to work on the UI and stuff. That'll be nice. Also, sound is gonna be another big part of this. Oh crap. That was a nice screenshot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.